Hey, I'm glad you're joining me today. This is Harbor Famous, my not-so-subtle scheme to talk to the most interesting and entertaining people right here in Grays Harbor. You know the folks. You see them around town, and they just kind of always make you smile. Well, I wanted to have a chat with them. My name is Stephen Vogel, and I am so glad you're joining me today, and I hope that you have as much fun as I'm about to. Thank you for joining us. Hey, probably be a lot better if I unmute. Well, thanks for joining me on Harbor Famous. I'm really excited to have a great conversation this week with somebody I've known here in Grays Harbor for, quite a long time. You probably know him. He's been in Grays Harbor, forever. And you can find him on grocery carts at Safeway and many other famous things. My guest this week is David Quigg, so you probably do know him. And of course, the one question everybody wants to know right off the top of the bat is David growing a quarantine beard? And we're going to find out here in just a moment here. So let me bring in David Quigg. Welcome. Oh yeah, you got something.
Steven, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hey, I listened to your intro and I'm thinking, and it says, we're interviewing the most interesting people in Grays Harbor. And I'm like, oh gosh, I totally can't wait to hear what someone has to say. And I'm like, oh, it's me.
It's you.
Well, anyway, thanks for having me today.
But hey, I could get you, so that's a good start.
Yeah,
so,
that's all.
Would you believe it? I can actually see there are people watching us live right now on Facebook, YouTube. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So, it's a good way to spend this Sunday afternoon, I suppose.
Yeah, so. Come say hello to us.
Yeah. So
speaking of hair, besides my hair falling out, Jamie cut my hair yesterday.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I'm pretty excited about that. It was kind of like a white afro, really long and very, very curly. So I got a at-home haircut yesterday.
Yeah. So hey, it's good to have a very talented wife. I have not even bothered trying to ask mine to do that. It's just gonna go out. And actually, I was kind of coming and checking the camera like an hour ago, and I had just taken a shower, so it was like all slicked. And I was like, man, my hair hasn't looked that good in a while, and all of that. And then, so as I was like, oh, it'd be really funny if I'd taken it like just before we did this, because then over the course of us talking, it would just get bigger and bigger.
Drier and poofier. Yeah.
Yeah. Drier and poofier and all of that. Oh, I got to say, thanks, Jason. Jason wanted to tell us how awesome we are. So thanks, Jason.
We sure love Jason White. His Elvis impersonations to me are just spectacular.
Yeah.
I just love that.
He was on the first episode with Brian Blackburn, and we had a great time. He's certainly got his fans, and so thanks, Jason. We'll
reciprocate the awesomeness.
Reciprocate the awesomeness. So what have you been up to with all this stay at home and having to, what does this look like for you?
Yeah, so I'm in our home office right now, and behind me we have a bulletin board. Normally, Jamie and I have all our customers listed out, customers looking for homes, houses under contract, kind of our daily to-dos. And I don't know if you can read it now, but it literally is set up with a bargaining system for our three sons, so that if they do well, they get an hour of screen time. But there's a list of things they can earn screen time by taking out the trash, cleaning the room. The thing that I love, Jamie wrote, they can lose screen time by touching the chart. Whining, that's for our oldest son. Not listening to our parents or screaming, those are the lose screen time things. So I think that any house with kids is having the same kind of challenges that we're having at this point as well.
It's definitely a very interesting time. And
oh my gosh, we are still busy helping our customers buy and sell real estate, which has been really nice. It's good to be busy, but obviously it's been really trying for a lot of the people here too. So, the thing that's positive for us is that as this COVID-19 has been so, devastating for so many people across the world, I think people in more urban areas are going to look to rural communities like ours as really kind of safe havens, where we've got the social distancing, but we've got the safety of a small town. We've got the tight knit community and the camaraderie. So we're really optimistic that as we continue to pull out of it, that Grace Harbor is really going to be seen they're in a good light, even a more positive light as we go on. So we're staying busy. My son's in second grade. 3 of my kids, they all go to St. Mary's, and I thought before they went to school, hey, maybe we could homeschool. Jamie has a master's from an Ivy League school. She's smart as hell. I barely graduated with a speech communications degree from Gonzaga. Now that we've done this homeschooling for like 4 weeks, that was the dumbest idea I ever had. Oh, forget it. Horrible.
Yeah. So we're gonna leave this to the professionals.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had a worksheet and it brought up multiplication for the first time, and I was like, oh, man, is this gonna fall on me? I mean, of all people to have to teach my kids things,
right?
Just not the best. So
right. So
we're surviving.
Yeah, it's been actually, so I'm relearning trigonometry, which I had forgotten back when. I don't even think I remembered it when I did it.
You did enough to pass a test.
Exactly.
And then you just lost it the next day. Filled it up with music lyrics and other dumb stuff that you don't need.
Yeah. And so thankfully there's better tools out there now than we ever had. Yeah. I mean, we didn't have, honestly, to have when it's like something comes up, I'm like, I don't know. And then there's Khan Academy, and I can go to Khan Academy and I'm like, oh, this guy talks in a way I understand and can explain this. And I can at least punch the calculator in there, because we didn't even, our calculators ran on we had calculators, but you had to change the batteries and that kind of thing.
It weren't even solar at that point. Yeah, you try to shake it and hit it to get a little more battery juice out of it.
Right. Yeah. So then you would have to change the bird every once in a while with the Flintstone, the little pterodactyl that was.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And they were not good at cosine. So.
Yeah, the technology is really spectacular, though.
Yeah,
and I think that will probably last longer than this COVID virus.
Right.
I'm sure there'll be other changes.
Right.
But the use of technology, not only in learning but in working environment and the social interactions, is really spectacular.
Yeah,
it's been one positive.
Yeah, it's been good. So I don't know if you could see this. So. You see my sweatshirt here.
Oh, yes. Yep. Awesome. What year was that?
So that was 2013. I was in the way in the back up top and stuff like that. But you played Brad Major. Oh my goodness. So I had this Union Jack skirt and leggings, or these like tights and stuff like that. And I don't know, this like tie-dye tank and stuff like that, and like a tuxedo jacket.
Yeah, you had a jacket on over the top. I remember that.
And I had spray colored beard. And then we got these like tattoo lips kind of thing. So I had like Union Jack lips. And I was a phantom, it was the Rocky Horror Show. We haven't said what it is in case people are like, what are they talking about?
So, right. But 2013, that's where is that the first time we met, or do we know each other?
Actually, no, we did know each other before that, but we were in the Rocky Horror Show. I'm going to ask you that. Well, I'll get to that in a little bit. We can talk about the Rocky Horror Show first. And then you played Brad Majors, which was that with your wife playing Janet Weiss. And so, was that how was that for you? Were you comfortable with that?
The thing that's funny, so I grew up in a house, and then our house now is a lot of walking around in your underpants and not being fully dressed. But obviously, I've had jobs that were, relying on my professionalism, and although I always have fun, so to do a role where I was in tidy whitey underpants in front of everybody
and fishnets.
Oh yeah, the bustier and fishnets. That's right. And at the time I was working at the hospital. So in the hospital, and when you're with your wife and they have kids, all sense of modesty is just gone. And the thing I like about the hospitals, although there are times where people see you in situations where you're naked or you're sick, they don't judge. And so I kind of got this mentality in my head, like, you know, I'm married already. If somebody doesn't think I have a great body, I don't care what they think, right?
Right.
And those people don't know me. I'm literally playing a character on stage.
Right.
But the CEO of the hospital said, David, I am so embarrassed for you. I can't come watch the show.
Oh, really?
Well, I wasn't embarrassed. Yeah, I wasn't embarrassed. I don't care.
I know my dad came because, you know, to him that was, you know, whatever. I think my mom came. I know it was a little bit tougher.
Not as excited about it.
That's not their favorite role.
No. But it was so fun. We made so many fun friends. And the thing, so the Driftwood Theater here in Aberdeen, such a spectacular. I mean, theater in Grace Harbor is so amazing already. And the problem is there's so many talented people that to get a role is difficult,
right?
Especially when you're somebody like me that can't sing or dance, but you smile a lot.
Which is why we would give you a lead in a musical, right?
That's right, yeah. But we had I've made lifelong friends from these theater interactions. And today, 2020 versus 2013, people still come up and say, "Oh, I watched you in Rocky Horror Show. That was so fun." And, you know, we still laugh about it. And when the photos pop up back on Facebook, you know, it brings back so many good memories. But I think that I'm pretty self-confident already. And I think that if people don't like seeing me in my underpants, they didn't have to pay to go.
Right.
They'll never get that out of their heads. That's like, you know, that's I'm sure a vision they'll never forget.
Well, and that was one of the nights that we had of the performances, because of course, I mean, it's a tough show to do. Anytime you're doing a play or a musical, it's so much work. And then, you know, a big cast and a musical, you've got a band, you got all kinds of stuff. It was a lot of work to get on stage. And then we had one night where we had 2 performances, right? And I mean, Driftwood doesn't do 2 performances. That's a professional thing, right? Yeah. And so we had our normal 7:30 p.m. show, and then we did the show at midnight. And that was wild. It was.
I think if you haven't been in a play, it's so it can be physically and emotionally draining, even with funny shows. But when you have an audience, so if you're never in a show and you go to watch a play, I know sometimes it's uncomfortable to be the first person to clap or the first person to laugh the loudest or the first person to stand up for a standing ovation. But the rush that the performers get from that immediate positive interaction is it's like a drug. It's spectacular. I mean, it's not as good as prescription painkillers, but it is really exciting.
I'll have to take your word on that one. So, but
we sold that show out, Stephen, a lot of times, didn't we?
Yeah, it was. So they do a thing but that midnight show was sold out, like not a seat at all. Because like they don't count the balcony and stuff like that. But it was a sellout run. It was a great show. But you've done a lot of other shows. What other shows? What other shows stick out in your mind that you've done in Grace Harbor?
Well, Mamma Mia last year or the year before at the college. So I was always too nervous to audition at Grace Harbor College because the caliber of performers at all of these theaters, from the 7th Street Kids to Driftwood, out at the beach, they've got a couple theaters at both sides. That they've got, and then the Bishop Center. And so, you know, all of these theaters have these world-class performers, and so I was always too nervous to go audition for a show. And then when they said they were doing Mamma Mia, I was like, well, I like all those songs. So I went and auditioned, and you know, the audience never knows that you spend 4 hours a day for 4 to 6 weeks practicing and repracticing, and then it's just this in huge group of people with this common vision and goal for this show, and to be a part of something like that, it's really you know, awesome. It's an honor to be a part of that kind of performance. And I did a few plays in college. We did Aladdin one time, the Disney version of Aladdin, and it was a little bit different. That was really spectacular, and I like those big numbers, and because being in it, I'm just trying to count out loud. Kathy Brown, Nightmares of Me in Green Spandex. Kathy You could have come to see me in Rocky Horror and seen me in Tidy Whities. So you would have like every other night, you could have a nightmare about me in less clothes.
So,
that's right. And Mamma Mia, the end costumes obviously are those spandex jumpsuits.
Right. Yeah.
They're professionally made, so thank goodness it was long enough for my torso, because otherwise it's very uncomfortable. But the only size boots they could get were size 11 in men's.
Ooh.
Was the largest those boots came in, and I wear a size 14.
Yeah.
So the last two dance numbers, I was wearing a size 11 boot with size 14 feet.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable. Yeah. Sorry, Kathy.
Yeah. But that's a little tight. So
no, we're just so blessed to have these theaters in the community, and that's the sad part about. One of the difficult parts about this COVID is that interaction, and a lot of the theaters had performances either ready to go or they were mid-show when they stopped because of this. And obviously everyone understands the safety of the community comes first, but it was obviously disappointing after you put all this into it.
Yeah, so I know that. Yeah, I know we had tickets to a show in Seattle in May that we just got word is canceled, and they were going to just postpone it, but they were like, oh, we don't actually have time to postpone it too. So
because they can't come back. If it's a traveling show, they're scheduled set for the next 2 years. So
and I know with the Driftwood, the April-May show, obviously that's not happening now. I think they're going to bring it back next season, but I don't know the details on that. And then we have the July show, the Complete History of America Abridged. So as it stands, we're going ahead with it. So working on that and all that, but we'll see how the next couple of weeks and month or so go. If we're going to be ready to be back for July, because it's not enough to, have everything open by July. I need to actually have some time with the actors before then. So,
exactly right.
We can do for that particular show, we can do a lot remotely, but at some point we have to be in the same physical space. So
getting on the stage.
When is that going to be? Is that going to be early enough that we can get that show open? And I was really excited because doing a show on American history, and we had something planned that really hadn't been done before, and that's a matinee on Saturday, July 4th.
That'd be awesome.
So July 4th matinee. So it's a holiday. It's
and you still have time to get out and play with your family, but come get some history in the meantime.
Exactly. So some really authentic history. I mean, this is totally going to get you through.
Fun.
Right.
Just like Jesus Christ Superstar helps me through the New Testament. Yeah. That's all you need to know.
That's right. Might have had a little bit of controversy when we did that show. We're like,
I love that show.
We when we did that, of course, we ended up doing no curtain call on the end.
Yes.
Because it was
a buzzkill. If you don't know the end of the New Testament, if you don't know the end of Jesus Christ Superstar, it's a bit of a buzzkill.
Well, and it's funny because the New Testament actually goes beyond Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ Superstar ends a little bit before that, so it definitely ends on a buzzkill.
That's a good show.
It's a great show. So there's that. So let's see. I did know you before Rocky. I know that I can think that we worked on prepping some houses for Paint the Corridor before that.
Paint the Corridor for Vision 2020.
Yeah. And
Stephanie, you're right. Two things. So Stephanie is the chocolate madam from Pacific Beach with the Chocolate Festival, which is one of the best Grace Harbor events going on. And usually I wait and gain the weight at the Chocolate Festival. During this COVID, I've literally had to let my belt out one more notch.
Right. Yeah.
Can't stop eating crap.
Oh,
yes,
my goodness.
Stephanie, I think theater can't answer all of life's questions. That's exactly right. I think my grandma Kathy thinks that life is a musical. So
yeah,
I think there's one way of looking at it for sure.
Right. Yeah, Yeah, I'm really trying hard not to put it on.
Yeah, sorry. Mistress? Master?
Yeah. So we I'm trying really, really hard not to put on the COVID-19 because I'm assuming that 19 refers to how many pounds you're going to put. It's like like the freshman 15. It's the COVID.
It is literally.
Trying really hard not to put on 19 pounds during this, and I haven't so far, but I also don't know when this ends. So
no,
we might get there. We might get there.
I always ask, we try not to go to the grocery store very often. We try to be really careful when we go, and it's really fun talking to the people there and what are people buying. And in the beginning, it was toilet paper. Right. And I thought if people really thought they were going to die, they'd just buy booze and bullets.
Right.
But they were buying toilet paper. So I figured people are optimistic that we'll make it through this. And
I
know that emotionally it's gotten to that more booze spectrum at this point. Right. And so they did say at Safeway or Swanson's both that alcohol has been a real popular item as of late. Coping juice.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I've been trying to just stay out of the sugar. That's the one that's been getting. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I found it all.
You found it all.
Yeah.
Horrible. Had you stocked up on a lot of Easter candy going into this? And
I'm still eating my kids' Easter candy, which is thank goodness that's getting me through. But you know what was terrible?
Did they figure out it's missing yet?
No, they got a lot. And so one of my kids, I just ate half of his chocolate bear that was still missing. Still, he hadn't eaten. And then in the bottom of their little Easter bags, they have jelly beans. And so they don't know if I just go and steal a few of those out. So.
Right. Yeah. Do you have a guest?
Yeah.
Do you need to say hi to someone? Hold on.
Oh, he's got to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Okay, bye.
Bye, Walter.
Bye, Walter. So
at least we're done with diapers. That's the good news.
Oh my goodness. That's a great moment in parenting when you're done.
Yeah, it's a big win.
It's a big win.
Someday they'll all wipe their rear ends, but at least they're not wearing diapers. So
exactly. That's what the washing machines are for, right?
Baby steps. so no. Well, I was saying that we have our mother-in-law, Jamie's mom, Kathy, lives with us, and then the three boys and Jamie and I, and so we'll do Safeway every week, and then maybe a Costco run once a month, and fill in with Swanson's and Safeway. And before COVID came up, we were just like, oh, we need to go to Costco and get all our stuff, but we'll wait. And oh, that was dumb. So we kind of got left a little short. And when we go to Safeway, I said, we're not hoarding. She's like, I know, David, you buy this much every week. So
right. Yeah, buy the normal amount.
Yeah, which is a lot.
They're still going to keep making Pepsi. I'm like, no, that's how much Pepsi my wife likes to drink. So yep. That's normal. That's not hoarding. That's normal.
This is what we need. Survival at this point.
So, what's this say? Oh, yeast.
Oh yeah.
My
yeast
kid,
and flour. I don't know why people became pioneers all of a sudden and need all this damn flour. It's so weird to me.
It's funny because so my kid is taking biology at the college, and it's a lab, so he has to do all these experiments and that kind of thing. And one of he's like, "Hey, I have to do this lab, and it's due tonight or whatever." I'm like, well, "Okay, well, get on it. You're a big boy, right? So you're in college, you can find your own supplies and stuff like that." So, he went looking around, and the one thing that we didn't have was yeast, right? So he walked down to Swanson's, masked up, did the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he comes back, and how much, yeast comes in like packets or whatever, right? Apparently that's not what was there. He came back with this brick of yeast I'm like, that can literally last us our entire lives.
Open a bakery now.
I'm like, you better learn how to make bread, because that is so much. I'm like, that's just what they had, and he needed to buy some yeast.
Your house is going to smell like Subway sandwiches.
Right. I'm like, I think that's going to have to go to my mother-in-law or something at some point, because I was like, there's no way we're going to use this.
Yeah, that much.
I couldn't believe. I didn't know it came in that big of a thing. It's like when you get the
grocery store too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's just at Swanson's. Just that he walked down and got it was.
I can notice how much gray is getting in my beard.
I know, isn't that terrible?
I got it trimmed. I go to Javier
Mhm.
and he cut it short. And in my photo, it literally looks just like I have a mustache because everything else is so white. I'm like,
Very nice. Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about that.
Oh, hey, it's
Jamie,
all good right now.
my wife literally said, she's like, oh, I like that you're getting gray hair. It's like George Clooney. She's blind enough to think that anything in me resembles George Clooney. So I was like,
Take it. Take it. Don't argue.
Seriously.
Don't argue. Yeah.
Jeez.
You know, take everyone you can get. So,
amen.
So, so actually, I'm pretty sure that I met you. I'm pretty sure I met you the same day that I met Jasmine Dickoff and Stephen Friedrich, and probably like half a dozen other people, but I can't. But all the same thing, and that was with Grace Harbor 2020.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So
I know, and now it's actually 2020. So when we did Grace Harbor 2020, I was working at the paper mill. Imperium Renewables was coming in.
Yeah.
We had just started to see the beginning, like some glimmer, right? Like the Port of Grace Harbor was cranking up, great leadership. Yep. There was some elected official leadership that we hadn't seen. And, you know, there was just kind of a buzz about what could Grace Harbor be, right? But I what we felt like, so we had been traveling around for the paper mill talking about sustainability, people, profit, planet, right? And at first I thought they were talking about being a greenie. And I said, well, if you just lead with environmentalism in Grace Harbor, I mean, that's not thinking of all the stakeholders. So we had learned about that triple bottom line. So we're like, man, if we could kind of help people understand that, it could be such a win, because our community can, you know, we can handle that. We the people that choose to be in Grace Harbor are here because they want to be here, right? I mean, if you want to go somewhere else, you can go somewhere else, but people choose to be here. And so we ran a sustainable business class and had a bunch of people show up. That was well received. And then the whole question was, well, what's next? What's next? What's next? Because people wanted to do something, right? People had time and energy and desire to support Grace Harbor. So we brought a consultant down to talk to a few people. He thought he was going to talk to maybe like a few key stakeholders, like 3 to 6 people. Well, we filled the log pavilion up. And we just invited everybody, right? From teachers to business owners, all political personnel. We just invited everybody that we thought would have a stake in making our community better. And so it went really well. And then we kind of continued to move forward from there. I think the misconception people had about Vision 2020. This is Hi. Where are you?
In the bathroom.
Oh, you were in the bathroom? Are you on video now? Is your hair messy?
No, I mean like, hey, not make it go down.
Don't make it go down? You like it up?
Yeah. I thought down.
You don't want it down? You like it up? Kind of spiky?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Like that? Looks really
Dad,
good.
do you know anything about being cool?
Yeah, I don't actually.
Daddy, but a lot.
You like that?
That you do that.
You did I do that?
Lot.
Yeah. Okay. You want to watch your cartoons? With Vision 2020, so what happened is that we had like we still have it today, 500 plus not-for-profits in Grace Harbor County. Al Carter explained it well. That was, not only do we not have all oars in the water, our boats aren't even facing the right direction. How could we overlay kind of some leadership and guidance to move our community to the next level? And we chose 2020 because at the time it was attainable, but still a ways out. Vision 2020 was set up as kind of an overarching body to, and really what happened is we went out and pulled the community and listened to all stakeholders. And I think it was kind of the first time that it happened. We went to a PUD meeting. This PUD commissioner is no longer there. And we were explaining, we said, hey, in order for our community to be great, we want to know what the people really want and what the people really need. What's their vision for our community in 2020? And that's a stay-at-home mom, that's a retired grandma, that's a business owner, it's all stakeholders.
Yeah.
Regardless of their position or abilities. And so we explain this to the PUD commissioners. And one of the commissioners says, I don't know why you're wasting your time. I know what my community wants. Wow. Well, we started laughing, and we realized at that point that we were really onto something, right?
Yeah.
Because if this is how certain people were feeling, that's not a win. That's not represent our community. So we had an action item list of a few hundred items. I think that Vision 2020 did not do any of the items.
Right.
We literally just helped put people into places that they could help get things done. So we got tons of stuff done. And involved a lot of people. And could we use a reboot?
Right? Oh, yeah.
To go to the next level? We surely could. Yeah. And times change and people and leadership change. And the thing that's neat today is that I think that we're in a much stronger financial situation than we were before as a community. Yeah. I think that the overall economy is stronger.
Yeah.
Come here. This is Ansel. He's my 5-year-old.
Hi, Ansel.
Ansel, ask him, tell Stephen, what did you want?
Chips.
Oh, chips. So you come interrupt me just because you want some chips.
Yeah.
I
gave my kids the death glare, before. I was like, I'm going to record.
They come to me because they know I'm a softie compared to mom.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean,
I think everyone online can attest to that. One of the parents that's always doing it wrong, that's me in this relationship.
That's me. Yeah.
So they want their chips. Yeah. But so with Vision 2020, I think that there's some opportunities. I mean, obviously there's opportunities for our community, and there's always opportunity for a consolidated leadership and vision. If when we go to talk to the politicians, if 50 different groups are talking about their interests, they're all competing for the same dollars. But if we come as a consolidated voice to people that can support us or things that need to get done, it just gives us more strength and power. So, I think there's opportunity for that. I'm not raising my hand to be leading that anymore just because of time. And a good example, we have a customer that's looking to retire from Puget Sound Transit from Seattle. He wants to come to Grace Harbor. He loves it here. He loves being able to go to the mountains, go to the beach, and he likes the size of our community and the safety of our community. Right. We showed him 3 houses. All 3 houses were $215,000 to $250,000, and all 3 of those houses have been renovated in the last year. So they took really these derelict homes. People saw value in investing in those homes, and there's people that are looking to purchase higher value homes in our community. So, I think that there's really good signs.
Yeah, and it's funny because we go, what happened with that? But realistically, I mean, coming into, say, the current crisis, if we say let's look at February, we had. And you could attest to where it's at right now, but it's certainly the strongest real estate market that I've ever seen in Grace Harbor, and I'm guessing it's going back decades. I mean,
2007 had a blip right before the crash, where there's still people today because of these kind of horrible lending practices that are still upside down in their homes, but the overall strength in the real estate market right now is phenomenal. And it's a win for people looking to sell their homes. And people complain if they're looking to buy, but we still have the most reasonable home prices in
Western Washington.
Western Washington for sure. And so, things are expensive. I'm not minimizing that, but it's really raising the bar and raising the stock of the housing stock, at least in our community.
Yeah, I can look at, my brother-in-law, they're looking to buy a house up in like Snohomish County. And it's like, I can't even fathom numbers like that. Right. And we're like, you know what David Quigg can get you for that kind of money in Aberdeen, or Hoquiam.
Yeah, that's exactly
hopefully I'm
right.
being
And that's
friendly a city, but
yeah, we get people coming in, and I mean our homes, we have so many cute homes and we have so many nice neighborhoods. It's really spectacular. And I
yeah,
explained to people, I said, when you go to larger cities, you have neighborhoods that are phenomenal
right.
and you have neighborhoods that are not great. We don't have neighborhoods that are not great.
No.
In Grace Harbor, you have nice house, nice house,
Right.
nice house. It's just all intermixed, and
Right.
it's
Right.
not an unsafe place to be.
Right.
So we love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it's nice for us in our line of work because we meet people who are excited to be here. And I think it's easy for us to forget when we're kind of dealing with the day to day.
I'm gonna show something real quick. So
Sure.
hey, go, this,
Oh yeah.
go to
Jamie and
teamquigg.com.
I. Yeah, so teamquigg.com is our real estate website. We work for Windermere, and you can kind of search houses. The thing that's interesting is normally this time of year, we should have hundreds of homes available on the market, and there are not in all of Grace Harbor. East County is just hot as can be. Even the ocean beaches have just become really continuing to grow and popular. So that's the good news for us. And when you see the schools that are running low on money because the lack of students, because the lack of tax base, I hope we can get back on top of all that. That's really important.
Yeah. Wow, I just lost it.
That's okay. Yeah.
So you're still bullish on long-term Aberdeen, Hoquiam, Grace Harbor real estate. This is where we have a pause, or is there even a pause? Has it continued to be just as strong as normal? Or?
We've seen, I have one customer that lost his financing on a home, but then he was able to pick it back up.
Yeah.
And I hope that people listening to me talk positively about Grace Harbor know that I also recognize there's a whole section of our community struggling right now.
For sure.
That with the business closures, I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and say, yeah, houses are selling, but I know that so many people are out of work. So many people are just barely making ends meet. If they are making ends meet, right now they're not. So we've got a lot of work to do, but I think this will be more of a blip than a just destruction.
Yeah. With that, and then I'm going to talk real quick on you and Jamie got involved in another business. You want to talk about that?
So we bought a marketing company called Alder Creative. We have some great friends, Eric and Britta Jackson. I met Eric Jackson when I worked at the paper mill and I needed help building a website and doing some packaging. And, we were looking at companies from Seattle and Portland and maybe San Francisco to do professional marketing for us. Actually, Portland, we had a lady out of Portland that worked for us for a while, and to do some design work. And then I met Eric Jackson from, lived in Hoquiam, went to Aberdeen. His design capabilities and his web work were as good as any person in San Francisco or Seattle or Portland. He lived here in Aberdeen. And then he married Britta Fulton, and she's a spectacular writer and really a strategic marketing person. And so they built this company. Now, the thing that's cool about Alder Creative is, look at some of the quality of this work they've done. And most of it is all supporting local businesses. And one of the things that we found, and I helped them when they first started Alder Creative, is we found there's so many businesses in our area that are just amazing, right? They've got either amazing products, their customer service is exceptional, but their brand wasn't representing the quality of the product or the quality of their perception in the market. So we thought that if we could help these local businesses be successful with cost-effective marketing, public relations, and branding, why wouldn't we do that? So Eric and Britta ran Alder Creative for the last 7 years, and they're two creative people, and so they've done an amazing job. They have 2 young kids. See, this story sounds familiar to I think a lot of people. They have 2 young kids. They're running their own business, and they would like to focus on things that are most important in their life, and that's their kids, we sold them a new home that they've been renovating. That's what they wanted to focus on. And so we wanted to kind of come in and say, hey, we could handle the back end of running a business, right?
Right. Which is so much.
There's a lot that goes on to running a business every day that takes away from their ability to produce. So we talked, and we all are kind of on the same, we're on the same wavelength when it comes to our desire to support local businesses, our desire to help businesses in Grace Harbor be shown in the best light, not just for local customers, but when we're marketing for a Grace Harbor company, they're competing against Seattle companies, right? Like we're going after the Seattle dollar. Sure. I'm not beating Aberdeen residents out of a few more bucks. I'm trying to get $1 out of every single person that drives through Grace Harbor. And why not try to get $10 out of every person that comes to Grace Harbor? So we thought that we would be a great combination. So my sister Natalie that lives in Denver is working as kind of project manager. Eric's moved into more of a artistic director position. We have some amazing customers. And we will continue to grow the business because now we have the capacity to produce more and do it in a more timely manner. And who doesn't want that?
Right.
So yeah, we're really happy with Alder Creative. And you know, we see that even in a time like this is a time that, you know, like restaurants are changing what they're doing. How are they getting that information out there? When your business opens back up, let's talk about your marketing plan for the next 30, 60, 90, 12 months even. What are you going to do? And knowing that you have very little money to do it in. So getting professional help to do that, I think, is important. And so that's why we purchased Alder Creative. And we are, again, optimistic about continued growth in Grace Harbor and continued investment in the community.
Yeah, well, I always see you as one of the biggest cheerleaders in Grace Harbor, and probably always have been. So, you know, I can always look to David to help kind of rally the troops and that kind of thing. And when I was like, oh, if I'm doing this thing where I'm really kind of talking to like interesting people around and people that people know, I'm like, well, that has to be David, right? So,
well, we put our pictures on the Safeway cart so you can't forget about us.
Right, you know? Right.
We don't advertise on Zillow, but we advertise on Safeway grocery carts.
There you go.
Because really, I think when it comes to what we believe for marketing from our real estate company is that you need somebody you can trust.
Right.
You need somebody that you feel comfortable walking you through these very, very expensive transactions.
Right.
And we just need to be top of mind. There's other great realtors out there. Sure. I mean, there's really great people doing real estate in Grace Harbor, but we want you to choose us. We're you know, so we chose, when you're sitting at Safeway and you're walking, mask on now, aisle to aisle, thinking, man, I kind of do want to look at selling my house. I wonder how much it's worth, or I have a cousin that wants to move to Grace Harbor. Who should I call? So yeah, we've had a hell of a time with the real estate. It's just been really so much fun for us.
Yeah.
And you know, it's back to that kind of customer service and theater. It's all, what are the positive interactions in your life that can help you kind of survive some of the downtimes? And for us, it's these customers buying and selling real estate has been really good.
Oh, good deal. So one of the other great things is this is an opportunity, you know, starting this under quarantine and whatnot, but of course I'm hoping to continue this to chat with people that I didn't get to catch up with. And of course we haven't had an opportunity to catch up with a while, you know, a few minutes in the why here or there, but we had something planned. We were going to spend time together. And for me, it was my first event that was canceled for all of this. I'm guessing it was probably yours. We were going to play basketball together.
Yeah. I was bred into a sports family. My dad was drafted in the pros. He played college ball, and I'm horrible at basketball.
Yeah.
A few years ago,
but everybody assumes you'll be good.
Yeah. Well, I'm tall.
Right.
But once they see me dribble or run, they'll know it's probably not going to go well. So I got recruited a few years ago to play in the Special Olympics. I think it was either basketball or a softball game. And obviously I'm so not sporty and out of shape. And now I've got my COVID-19. So running back and forth to the basketball court, I'm nervous about it. So anyway, I went. So I can do this. I can figure it out. And I'll tell the people there I'm out of shape. And what are we going to do? So I went to my first Special Olympics basketball game. not knowing what to expect. And so they have like a so-called celebrity side, and then they have the Special Olympians. So the Grace Harbor Hawks have different levels of athletes. So they have athletes that are doing really kind of some rudimentary skills, like shooting a small ball from the wheelchair in a hoop. They're doing some passing skills. They're learning all these different physical activities, right? At the same time, they've got this group of athletes that have kind of the same drive. They're so stinking competitive.
I know.
This drive to participate, and they all want to win. So I go and I realize that they're take it really seriously.
Yeah.
They're very competitive, and they know I'm crappy.
Right.
So the only skill I have is pitching them crap. So I've been good at literally just yapping the entire game.
Oh, no.
Well, one of my friends, Crystal, who's an athlete, and you'll probably know Crystal because she works at Safeway.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, the celebrity team has never won a game.
Yeah.
And you would think it's because
I don't think that I was going to help change that.
No, I know. But here's the thing. It's not because we're not trying. That's the worst part of this whole thing.
Oh, I know.
We literally get our butts kicked. So I'm crying over getting my butt kicked. I'm mad. Like, we should have won. Right. So Crystal at one of the basketball games, literally in front of the entire stand, all the stands, brought me a box of tissue.
Oh, no.
Because I've been such a sore loser about it.
Right.
So for me, the Special Olympics, I mean, it is such an amazing organization. In Grace Harbor, there's such a great, strong group. And it's not just the athletes, it's their family and community supporters. That's really who are the bread and butter behind this whole group, are the people that are supporting them. And it has been one of my favorite activities. And Rhea, the story we just heard about, one of our Olympiads, Rhea, she just passed away last week, and her daughter, she was able to see her graduate just before she passed away. But we had so much fun playing in the Special Olympics. So there's lots of great memories built, not just by the athletes with the other athletes, but really with us community members who are just given these small little glimpses into, some people doing some really awesome stuff.
Yeah. I was incredibly nervous. I think I saw you at the Y or something like that. I said, "Are we going to survive this?" And you were like, "Probably not."
No. The rule is, yes. We always said, I tell the new athletes right when we get there, there's no expectation that both feet will ever leave the ground. So don't set yourself up for failure. Right. Don't fall down and get hurt. Right. Nobody's going to have both feet leave the ground, and your head should never be lower than your butt. Because then you're going to be on the ground. So no low expectations, high fun factor. So that's one of the things. We'll get this when we're back up at it next year. We'll get those games going, and it'll be just as much fun and just as important as it was for the years past. Yeah,
I was really looking forward. I'm still looking forward to it. I made sure to get some, high tops and all of that, and I went down to the Y, and I went, and I go and I get the ball, and I'm kind of dribbling, and I dribble down one, dribble down back. I'm like, okay, I can maybe do this. I'm like, I just hope I don't. I mean, really, my memory of basketball is jamming my fingers a lot, right? So I'm like, is that going to happen? I'm like, probably.
The ball, yeah. Well, you did more practice than most of us, so
that happened to me. In 8th grade, we were playing the teachers, 8th grade versus the teachers. And the teacher went to save the ball from going out of bounds, and he saved it, and it went boom right off my face. And I was never, ever good at basketball. I did all the sports. I was never good at any of them.
But what I love about sports, about school sports, is I like spending the time with the friends.
Yeah, exactly. I liked practice better than the games.
Me too, for sure. I remember being on the basketball team, and the coach would be like, "Go in," and I'm like, "I'm not going in. Have that guy go in. He wants to go in. Yeah, I don't want to go in. I haven't gotten sweaty yet. Like, I'm not going to get sweaty now."
Yeah.
So anyway, obviously that means I'm not good. But no, the Special Olympics, when we get going up again, if the viewers have not gone to a Grace Harbor Hawks game, you are formally invited. It is really a heck of a good time.
Yeah. So we'll when we get that chance to play, and I was honored that apparently I get to be called a celebrity now and join the likes of David Quigg.
Heck yeah.
that.
No.
I was like,
Yeah.
but it was,
Again, I just say yes to everything, so that's why I was invited. So
yeah, but I got to tell you, so I went down and I went to the free throw line, and I was
yeah.
like, okay, let's take a deep breath, dribble a couple times. I looked at the back of the rim. I went, and it went in.
Oh,
I'm
yay! See?
oh no, I'm in trouble. I'm like, it only goes down. The fact that I sunk it on my first throw means
Yeah.
I'm done. And then so I was like, I better practice
Yeah.
layups.
You just leave it.
Layups,
Yeah.
layups did not go so well.
Good and done.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that
goodness.
is so funny.
I
Oh no,
was,
I'm glad you brought that up. The Special Olympics and the stuff in the newspaper recently about Ria's passing. It's just
yeah.
that's really an awesome
And that's really
organization.
heartwarming to see the community come together on stuff like
But
that.
it's not surprising. That's the thing.
No,
I think it's surprising for people outside of the community. For those of us in Grace Harbor, those actions are not surprising. They're heartwarming, and it's nice that it still happens. But those are the type of people that people from Grace Harbor are. It's just people here give the shirt off their back, and it's so cliche and so annoying because every community says it, and I don't have a lot of experience in other communities, so maybe they do it.
Yeah,
I just think ours is the best.
maybe we do it better.
Yeah, well, we had to. Unfortunately,
Hoquiam is the friendliest city. I mean, I know Aberdeen tries lets you come as you are, but Hoquiam's the friendliest city. So
yeah, we've got so many great cities in Grace Harbor, and the thing that's funny is they're quite different, even though they're connected, and that's what makes it.
I lived for a number of years in Aberdeen, and I always in my head had them like as kind of the same or whatever, and then I moved to Hoquiam and went, oh. Aberdeen and Hoquiam are very, very different. And I don't know that you can really see the difference unless you've lived in both cities.
No.
And once you've lived in both cities, you realize like, oh, that's the difference. And it's not anything you can even put into words, but you can sure feel it.
Yeah.
So,
we live in Aberdeen now, and we are moving back to Hoquiam in July.
Oh, are you?
We'll back to Grizzlies. Okay. So that's fun. And our kids go to St. Mary's. That was something that although I grew up Catholic, we had never gone to St. Mary's, so I wasn't really familiar with that. But we've really enjoyed it. The small classes, and so it's been strict. So they'll still go to the Aberdeen to St. Mary's, but we'll live in Hoquiam. We're happy to be back.
Yeah, and I mean these towns are so interconnected anyway. Even though they're very different, it's still tied in. And even with Cosmopolis and stuff like that, I know that.
When we did a lot of Vision 2020 stuff, I would say, oh, Oakville. I'm like, oh, you can have Oakville because it's still in Grace Harbor. But then I kind of felt bad because I'm like, well, what if people from Oakville heard that we were like, oh, forget it. So Mrs. Brown's is a St. Mary's Lion fan for sure.
Yeah.
Her daughter's one of the teachers, and her granddaughters go to St. Mary's, and that's been a good experience for us because the camaraderie and the volunteer with the other families. And, I don't want to make this a commercial, but we've been really happy with St. Mary's.
Yeah, very good. And that goes K through 8?
K through 8. And the other thing is, I'm surprised that more people don't go to St. Mary's, but people told me that they couldn't afford it. And, St. Mary's has like 83% of students or 89% of students are on financial aid. There's actually for grade school, you can get financial aid. So it's not, the finances aren't a problem.
I don't know a lot about St. Mary's other than, just other than the community. So maybe I'll have to go
and I think my wife said, like the nuns that hit nuns that hit you with rulers. I was like, that doesn't really happen anymore. So
they don't. You're like, maybe they should have sent you to St. Mary's, David. That might have
that might have done something. Fix me a little.
If it had been back when nuns hit you with rulers, I mean, maybe
it was that long ago. They probably were doing that.
Exactly. So let's see what else. We talked Grace Harbor 2020. We touched on Paint the Corridor, which was a great 3 year project. It was 3 years, right?
I think we did 3 different years. So the idea behind Paint the Corridor is here we live in this wonderful community, and some of the houses are really run down, and that's the first impression people get about our community. And working with the hospital, I hear firsthand from physicians or their spouses that, yeah, this community seems nice, but boy, I drove into town and yikes.
Yeah.
And that's not really a true representation of what our community's like. So
Yeah.
the idea was that we had Paul Strip Matter donated some money first off to buy paint, to buy some houses along Sumner and Simpson, and kind of dress it up. And the thing that was interesting is the only prerequisite is you had to be a home owner occupied, so you had to own the home.
Right.
A lot of those homes were not owner occupied; they were rental homes. And so some of the houses that never got done were not done because we didn't want to. It's because they didn't meet the criteria. They were rental homes, and so somebody was making money off a tenant and not reinvesting it back in the house, which is not good for our community.
Yeah, I have seen a lot. Maybe since then, I don't know when it really started, but I do see some efforts going into the corridor these days and stuff like that. People are putting
from a real estate point of view, the houses on the main drag, there's still so many nice homes right on Sumner and Simpson or Emerson or Alder, some of the streets. There's some really beautiful homes mixed in. So it's back to that. Not one whole block is amazing. 3 of the 4 houses are amazing. There's still one we're working on. But people have pride. And I think when the economy is strong and people are working and they feel well, they have the ability to invest in where they live. And I think that things were going well for people for a while. And so they were able to fix their place up.
My hope is that we're able to get past what I'm calling the great pause and get back to that, because we were at the most bullish point that I've seen here, and as far as optimism for the future.
Agreed.
And
we finally caught up.
Yeah, finally caught up, right?
Grays Harbor finally caught up. I talked to, I'm a hospital commissioner for Grays Harbor Public Hospital District number 2. Yeah. And when I went to work for the hospital, I want to do marketing for the hospital, because if you're a hospital administrator, you play golf on Fridays, you drink scotch, it should be great. Well, that's BS. It's just been a horrible business. And it's nothing to do with the employees. It's nothing to do with the people that are seeking medical care. It's about the reimbursement and healthcare. And Grays Harbor is not going to fix that. I mean, we just can't fix that. So we put all these things in place. The employees just get kicked with layoffs, with pay reduction. The management staff haven't received any 1%, 2%, or 3% increases in like 3 years. Like there's just nothing. Right. But they choose to stay because they're here to help our community. Right. So this year, after all the things they had done, we were looking to be finally in a positive position at the hospital. After all the sacrifice of the employees, the sacrifice of the management team, the sacrifice of the medical staff, we were going to be in a positive place. Then COVID happens. And I told Tom Jensen, the CEO, I said, aren't we going to get a break? And he's like, no, David, we are not. So anyway, it's sad because people work hard, and then there's obviously things outside of our control. And we'll just have to go back to pulling up our bootstraps and doing the best we can. And we'll do it. But dang it, wouldn't it be cool to have like it easy for a day?
Wouldn't that be? Yeah. So
it'd be amazing.
Do you even know how many things that you're involved in? Do you lose track?
Sometimes. And I actually got to the point that I say no sometimes, because I don't want to be pulled so thin that I'm not doing something well, or I let something fall through the cracks. Yeah. And when you have a family, that's my number one priority, right? Yeah. And I love the kids' school. Yeah. I'm on advancement there. I love our hospital. I think that's such a necessity for our community. And there's so many amazing people that work at the hospital. And then we've got our businesses. And then it's just day-to-day life too, supporting little things like when you have projects like this, or when people do other things that I care about, then I'm willing to give some of my time for that. Yeah. But we'll rest when we're dead. Yeah. You can really only be so busy. Yeah. And with 3 kids, I'm already so busy. So what? I just don't get to sit down and watch TV. It's okay. Right. But I did watch that Tiger King.
No. Did you?
Yes.
Oh no. I've managed to avoid it.
I kind of had bad dreams for like 3 nights.
Oh no.
Just when it's kind of like Grays Harbor. Just when you thought things couldn't get worse, it literally gets worse.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, that was traumatizing.
Yeah. Do you recommend it, or?
if you want to feel good about your life,
No, I don't like that
No,
because then I'm like, that kind of feel good about my life. I can't, because then it's like at the expense of someone else.
yes, you don't want to. Yes, right.
And
It is
and
such, excuse my language, a shit show. It's amazing.
it was,
Amazing.
yeah.
So anyway,
I'd rather watch The Masked Singer. So
yeah. You know, the thing is, so we don't know because we're obviously too old, but like my wife started watching, is it TikTok?
yeah,
What's the one where it plays little clips? So
Yeah.
she'll literally be sitting there, like we'll be at our desks, and then she just starts laughing out loud because it's somebody doing some dance routine or some crazy stuff on there. So
she's a TikTok person.
yeah, she'll totally get.
I never would have guessed that.
Me neither.
Well, you know,
So
I think
crazy.
my wife is like to the point that she's kind of gone through all the things. Now, she has not watched Tiger King yet, and I really think that she's going to avoid it too.
You're a better person for not watching it. Like you can't unwatch it. That's the problem.
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm afraid of. Like why go through that? So yesterday she started the other day she started binge watching a Korean drama. And I'm like, she's not one that likes to just sit and watch subtitles for hours. She likes stuff in the background, but she just sat there and she watched it.
And mesmerized by it.
And and it's funny because it wasn't like a particularly good one. It
just like must have struck our fancy. You know, there's been some really good Korean movies this year, though.
Like, can we just watch Parasite if you want to go do
Parasite? That? Yeah. And then there's another one that's it's kind of scary. It's about zombies on a train. The train to something.
Oh,
I can't remember the name of it. Maybe a viewer will remember the name. But anyway, that's another great Korean movie. So besides K-pop, these movies are amazing.
Okay, well, I'll see if we can ease into watching that stuff now.
Yeah, that's a transition drug into something horrible like Tiger King.
So
what's it called? TikTok, not the TikTok.
Yeah. It's the TikTok.
One my Hawaiian buddy calls Rosses. It's somehow plural, Rosses.
Rosses? Mm-hmm. Oh, like the store?
Yeah, and my dad calls Walmart.
That's pretty funny.
Walmart, like that's some other store. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, he knows.
Well, that goes back to the thing of like, is that the place where you're gonna buy walls or something like that? But
Walmart.
The Walmart.
So weird.
Yeah.
We did go to Walmart once though, since this COVID started, and it wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
More horrible than normal.
Yeah. So, I had to go pick up a prescription that got sent there, and it was actually not busy when I went. It was pretty quiet.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't busy when we went either, but they only had 2 checkers.
Well, I had to go to the pharmacy, so it didn't matter how many checkers. There was only 1 checker there anyway. So
I like the love you too, Jasmine.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine. I'm so excited Jasmine's working at the shops at Riverside because I have an unusual appreciation for the South Shore Mall / shops at Riverside. Yeah. We are probably the Extreme Fun Center's largest fans. Yeah. It has saved our family many a rainy day.
Yeah.
And the South Shore Mall, I wanted to do a music. Actually, Britta Jackson thought it up. I think she wanted to do a music festival and call it South by South Shore Mall. Mm-hmm. They're just, I don't know. We love that place. The childhood memories of the gold mine and the burger place and the taco place and Orange Julius and that it's still there. And the group from Oregon that's really investing in our community is awesome. They're doing well with the movie theater, and now other shops have been moving in. And of course, then, this with the COVID, they've just got to be getting, it's got to be really hard. Jasmine, are some of the stores serving food now?
I can answer that question, and I can answer that question because I might have had some Taqueria San Jose yesterday. The super burritos, and they are definitely open. And I think Sergeant Brand's is open, and the Ranchero, all that.
Check it out.
So it's a lot of the main part of the mall is not open, but you can definitely get food to go there. So
great, good. We want to support those local businesses.
Yeah, it's definitely, and you can get in and out and kind of use your knee on the little button to open the door.
Good. Don't lick anything.
But I called my order in, and then it was just ready when I went to go pick it up. And oh my goodness.
Aaron Jeffries, the past mall manager. I love that. So Aaron's on the line. Aaron and her husband, Steve, such great friends of ours. Don't know why they like us because they are the nicest people. They have
Oh,
like
there's
18 kids and they live in one. Oh, Dean Dogs, Taqueria, Game Day Sports, Rancho Allegra. Perfect. Good. So if you get a chance, head to shops at Riverside.
yeah.
To pump up Aaron and Steve Jeffries. So Steve worked at Extreme Fun Center, kind of helping set that up. He comes with an entertainment background, and they're putting an arcade in at Seabrook, a retro arcade.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited for them as Grace Harbor residents opening a new business.
Yeah.
And you know, Seabrook's just such a good representation of what Grace Harbor can be. So I'm really excited for them.
Yeah, I'm excited
to open a new business in a resort.
Right. Yeah. I think they were just about open. Maybe they had opened or were really close.
Yeah, they were just about. So
I think they were days from opening if they hadn't already. And it's certainly exciting. Seabrook's I have to confession, I never went to Seabrook until this last year.
Oh, you didn't? What did you think when you went there?
I was stunned. It was not what I mean, one, it's much bigger than I expected. Because you were involved in that a few years back.
Yeah, we worked at Seabrook. That's how Casey Roloff is the friggin' reason I got into real estate. He called and so we met Casey when he came into town. He said, Casey says, oh, I want to build this town. He's like, not that much older than I am. And I'm like, oh, you really seem to have your you-know-what together. He's like, I want to build this town, and I think the houses will be this much. And I'm like, oh. So privately, I'm like, yeah, good luck. Like, we'll totally support you. And he has stuck to this, his vision. For the last 15 years, it's just been unbelievable. We have a name up and down the West Coast. It's the nicest place to stay, bar none, on Washington on the coast, but probably in Oregon as well. And we're drawing people from all over the world. And the thing that what I liked working at Seabrook is that the people would come from all over to visit Grace Harbor. And they would see Grace Harbor the way that we see Grace Harbor, that it's a spectacular place, that it's beautiful, that it's full of friendly people. And so that to me was such a awesome representation of what Grace Harbor can be. And people are willing to pay it because it is really that awesome. Yeah. I see Aaron said that they're still a couple months away. Yeah, from
they were a couple months out. I thought they were much closer than that, but apparently they're so.
Aaron, we'll be there. We'll be ready.
We're gonna line up the quarters along the top, and
oh man, I'm bad at video games too.
What game are you excited to go play or hoping to go play?
I would do if it's gonna be retro. Oh man, what did I love? I thought Tron was so amazing.
Oh yeah,
when I was a kid, there was a couple Pole Position, the car racing game.
Oh yeah.
If you look at those now, the graphics are so horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
Kong was a game that we used to play at. I think it was Godfathers had a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah.
Those were so fun.
I
look forward to checking it out.
One of the games that I always thought was so cool because it was like such a big deal when it came out because of the graphics. That in the arcades, it would have these huge lines, and they would actually have another TV up on top so people could see it. Was Dragon's Lair? Do you remember? Dragon's
that's
Lair?
Right. That's what I was trying to think of because for the first time, it seemed so real,
because it was like a cartoon. I mean, it was this I mean, they literally had painted these things and somehow got them into the. And then a few years later, I played it on whatever system, and it was so hard. It was like literally impossible to. It was like because you had to like time it like absolutely perfect. And
funny.
It was
the programming's changed so much. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
What do you play now? Do you play anything now?
My kids love. So I'm bad at video games. I don't play. I don't really get time for video games. But the kids like, Fortnite.
Oh yeah,
and they'll do some of those things. They have little gaming systems. They love the like we have Apple Arcade, so they can play Pac-Man and some of the things like that. They really like that. Yeah. But it's amazing. I mean, some of the gaming stuff they have, it's really spectacular. Yeah. I just get nervous. I don't want them chatting with weirdo adults on there. But other than that, seems
there's weirdo adults at home. That's good enough.
Right. They don't have to do it online.
My kids are super into old games, like the video game history.
Oh, they do?
Oh my gosh.
What system do they use for that?
Well, some of that they do Raspberry Pi, and then they like load these emulators on and stuff like that.
That's above my skill level. Okay.
Yeah, it's, but they watch YouTube videos where they're talking about the history of these games, and they'll be talking about. And like, I didn't have that many games growing up, and I didn't get a Nintendo until it was not cool anymore, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's just a fad. We're not gonna waste our money. That a new one will come out next month. Although Nintendo ruled the roost for a few years, so
that was all that we had. Yeah.
It was Atari. I was still playing Atari. I was still playing Atari. I didn't even have an Atari. I had a Coleco Gemini, which played Atari games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Good enough. Good enough. Yeah, it was cool. But every kid had a Nintendo before I did. But I never even beat Super Mario Brothers because I wanted to savor the game so much that every time I got to 8-3, I'd be like, okay, I need to stop playing for a little bit because I want to save beating this game.
It's like when you're reading a really good book and you don't want it to end, so you kind of like stall out the end.
Yeah. But my kids will ask me a question like, so when this game came out for like the 2600 and all of that, did you like it? I'm like,
I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't have the internet. We didn't know any of that stuff.
I don't know. I had Donkey Kong because that was my favorite game. Donkey Kong was my favorite game in the arcade and all that. So when we got that was like the first game I got. I had like Mousetrap. I had Raiders of the Lost Ark, a game I never managed to beat because it was so hard for that and stuff like that.
Funny. Yeah. The only thing I won't let my kids watch, I let them play the games. I let them watch a lot of probably inappropriate movies. Like my 7-year-old's watched Titanic 2 days in a row. He's not emotionally scarred because of COVID. It's just because he's watching.
Yeah.
But I hate with a passion them watching YouTube videos of other people playing games.
Oh, well,
I will literally confiscate their devices. I will shut off the TV.
You're too old, David.
Why would I watch somebody else having fun? Go make your own damn fun. Like, it just drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's
the one thing that I'm like helicopter parent. Like, no, that drives me crazy.
Now they're gonna be like secretly watching YouTube.
If that's the worst thing they do secretly, then I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, that's okay.
For some reason, it's just like a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, that's what people do now. They watch other people play video games.
God, I turned 45. I literally can't. I need like reading glasses, and I hate YouTube video game things, I guess.
Oh yeah. You're showing your age. I know.
Right.
Yeah, we've been playing Animal Crossing because you can handle Animal Crossing, David. It doesn't take a lot.
Animal Crossing, and there's like Zombie Crossing. It's all like Frogger, right? Is it like Frogger?
No. Animal Crossing is you build a village and stuff like that. It's nothing like that.
Oh Jesus, I don't have the patience for that.
Oh, you could, you build, you put out trees and flowers, and you try to get new costumes and stuff like that, and it's a much slower pace. You could handle it, David.
That might be up my alley. Yeah, I just feel big that I can look at Facebook for a little bit. That's kind of right now. All the memes with the funny jokes about. It's not funny, but it's such a nice emotional release to have funny jokes about the COVID-19 stuff. And
I thought you were going to talk about disinfectants and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's been spectacular. My favorite one about the disinfectant is like, I think we should stop warning people and kind of just let it take its course or something like that. That's my favorite one. I love that. Yeah. I don't like to get political. I try not to be political. I try not to be kind of negative to people because, nobody needs negativity in their life.
I do get political, but I try to keep all of my little buckets separate.
Yeah, or like I did finally comment on a college friend of mine's post because she just was so negative.
Yeah,
and I think that people probably do it. Stephen, you understand it better than I, but I think people do it because they just need to air a grievance, right?
Sure.
But if I'm going to say something, like I want to react, I want an action, right? Like I'm just not going to bitch I try not to just bitch to bitch. I want to like solve a problem. Yeah. And so I can only handle just blatant complaining so much.
Unfollow. You don't have to follow everybody on Facebook. You still be friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Probably will remain friends if I don't follow her.
Yeah.
But no, I just enjoy the heck out of, and the technology is so good for us. We from college, and Jamie and I moved a couple different places, and I had traveled quite a bit before, and it's so awesome to be able to keep track of all your friends and kind of see what's happening, and I just really love that. The thing that I like about Facebook too is we look so happy. Like you can never hear me yelling at my kids, never hear me cussing. It just looks like our life's so perfect.
I've realized that I think I'm pretty positive on Facebook most of the time and that kind of thing, because I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I try not to be my life is perfect, because
because it's not.
It's not.
And the thing that's funny is that I'm happy that people are a little bit more candid about, the struggles of being home with your family. Like the other day, I can't remember, I was driving somewhere, and I just like that 4 minutes in my car alone, I was like, oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It's not because I don't love my kids or I don't love my family, but it's like, I'm an adult and I need just, 2 breaths of like quiet time.
Yeah.
Sure, everyone feels that way.
So I'm going to put this out in a podcast format if people want to listen to it later, that kind of thing, wherever they get podcasts. So my question, do you listen to podcasts? Are you a podcast guy?
No, the only podcasts I listen to are through my wife, Jamie. So she has in the morning, she listens to some podcasts and she puts it on her speaker phone in the shower so I can listen to it as I'm kind of coming and going.
Yeah.
I find myself quite distracted. And so it's a little bit hard for me to focus on audio stuff if I'm multitasking, because I'm a man, so my multitasking ability is horrible.
Yeah.
But I'm more of kind of that visual.
She's not listening to those like murder podcasts, is she?
Oh no, no, she's not. She listens to like not the Wall Street Journal, like the New York Times morning podcast. Yeah. I read something in the morning called The Brew. And it's literally like boom, 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 boom. And it's half kind of funny stuff mixed in, like they make a little bit off-color comments about the news going on. And so that's kind of more my speed, those little like quick snippets in between.
It's your attention span.
Yeah, it's my attention span. Seriously. Yeah. I'm worse than a kid. I have to get a lot done in a day because I'm just jumping to the next thing.
Right. Yeah, I realized it took me a while to realize that I have a short attention span, that I have to just bounce around from different stuff to stuff. So
yeah, and tricks to keep it all organized.
Well, hey, we've been chatting.
Thank you so much for your time. So awesome to be here, and hopefully some of our friends got to listen that were missing, and we'll look forward to seeing everyone soon. I knew I was a toucher before this. Yeah. I just didn't realize how much I find comfort in touching somebody when I talk to them, or hugging them, or things like that, than when we can't do it. It's like Lent extreme here, giving up a lot.
It's been tough for
you.
I'll
look forward to the hugs.
Do you have fashionable masks that you put on? Are you?
No, we did get one of Grandma Kathy's friends had to borrow our sewing machine, and so she made us some nice masks, and I think it's blue. And then I have a couple N95s from construction because of flipping the houses, so I've just worn those when I thought it was important. But I think that hand washing is just as, if not more important than this, because if you went back and watched how many times I touched my face during this, that's what's going to kill me is touching. And so, it's all important.
Stop looking things, David. Stop looking.
I know. It's a problem. Steven, thank you so much for your time today. And everyone who listened today, thank you for your time.
Yeah. So we'll be keep this up every Sunday. I'll put something out, whether it be live or recorded before that. And we'll put this out in audio format sometime after that, within a day or two, or probably within a day, however long it takes for those to get caught up on anywhere you get your podcast from, Google, Apple, or any of the podcast apps. Or of course, you can watch this on YouTube or Facebook. Look for Harbor Famous. And if you manage to catch them live, you can comment. We can kind of throw your comments up live while it's going on. I appreciate it. Also on Saturdays, I'm putting out That Hoquiam podcast where I talk about Hoquiam specific stuff. Sometimes it's just me doing updates on what's going on in the city or the schools. And other times I have guests and we chat on that. Also, same thing, Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. So for that is all we have for today. And so I want to thank you for joining me on Harbor and David on Harbor Famous.